here we go. Hey guys, welcome to Dave Darin Show. I'll tell you who I've got on the call here. I've got Randy. Randy, how's it going?
Good, very good. Thank you.
Good. Now, let me identify Randy as one of the radio station owners that I was on, and I did not get fired, right, Randy? Is that correct?
No, he left on his own goodwill.
That's amazing.
And Randy's not pissed at me, which is also a positive. Randy's a cool guy. We've got Crystal on the call. Crystal Nonia, how are you, Crystal?
I'm excellent, Dave. How are you?
Good.
I'm going to use my phone tech voice for this, okay? Are we good?
Yep. And Crystal is well known in Arizona for being a promoter of the bands, a couple bands in general. We can shout their names out if you want, or we don't have to. But she's a promoter, and she's well recognized in Arizona, well appreciated, right?
Sometimes. Some people hate my guts, but I don't really give a fuck.
Yeah, maybe we better not say well appreciated, right? We've got Jeremy Dasher. Jeremy, how's it going?
What's going on, man?
And Jeremy is from a local band in Arizona called, if you want to name the band, you can. It's up to you, totally.
Yeah, we're called Latency, and we're all original, all hard rock.
We did a live gig from your studio, right? It was really cool.
That was a long time ago and a few bands ago.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. So that means we got to do it again. That means I'm delinquent. I got to do it again, right?
That's right. Keep up the times, Dave.
Who else is there? We got Doug, right, Doug?
Yeah, I'm here somewhere. Yes, I think I'm here. Hey, Dave, how you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. So, Doug, tell us all about you. Instead of me telling people, tell us about you. You tell us about you this time.
All right, well, I'm known as Doug the Rock Dog Russ. I've been in radio for over 20 years. I've been a DJ for 30 years. I've been all across the United States. Started in FM radio in the Chicagoland area, and been doing the underground and help promoting artists and bands throughout the world.
I'm going to have to disconnect you because you've done more fucking things than I have, and you're more successful. So we'll say goodbye. We'll say goodbye to you.
My dog's more successful than you.
All right, let me reel you guys in. Let me pull you guys in because tonight I'm kind of pissed off, and I'm going to tell you all about why I'm pissed off. You can tell me if I should be pissed off or if I'm rightly pissed off, right? So I've done this show. Crystal knows that I've done this to probably she's vomited listening to my fucking attitude. But, you know, I periodically...
I find it hilarious, actually.
Okay. I've talked about the music business from the perspective of the venue owners. I'm not going to dwell on some of these until we get to the very last one. But I've talked about the venue owners. I don't know how these fuckers can go to sleep at night unless they promote the fuck out of their business. They got mortgages. I don't understand how they can have a fucking mortgage, owe money to people, and just not promote to the best of their abilities. And if they don't, you guys should fucking not play there. But we're not going to go into the venues. We're also not going to go deeply into the promoters. Bands say that the promoters, a lot of them suck. If you fucking bands can't find decent promoters, then research the fucking promoters and work with those guys, and don't work with the fucking lunatics that don't help you out. I've talked about radio. I've talked about terrestrial radio. Terrestrial radio sucks. Even when I was on the air, I never fucking listened to terrestrial radio. It sucked. It's a repeat of the same shit all the time, right? I've talked about radio personalities, and I say that they're partially to blame. Because when I used to listen to radio in the 70s and the 80s, and fuck it, I listened to some of it in the 60s, but I guess I was too young, so it was later 60s. But to be honest with you, the radio personalities have become lame motherfuckers for 25 to 32 grand a year. They're no longer edgy or pushing the edge, and they're not supporting you guys like they should be because they're submissive to all the fucking corporate radio stations. So they're to blame too, in fact. But one of the things I don't talk about is the fans, and that's what I want to get to. The fans of your music. I go to venues. Of course, there's a couple bands that bring in crowds, or there's a couple venues that maybe do their job, but for the most part, I go to these venues that can hold 200-300 people, and there's fucking 20, 30 people there. And do you guys sort of agree with that? A lot of times I'll go to a venue, I'll see 20 to 30 people there. Do you see that enough?
Totally agree.
There's a lot of times even less.
Even less. Okay, so now let's talk about the fans. And you know, it's funny because you guys come on my show and you tell me, Dave, here's how you get music of me. Go to Reverb Nation and SoundCloud. All our music's out there. The problem with that is you've got all these fucking fans of yours going out who should be supporting you. They're going and let's say it, they're fucking pirating your music. They are downloading your music, and getting laid with their wives. They're fucking their wives to your music or their husbands to your music. And they haven't even paid for it. They probably maybe they're even picking up a prostitute and getting laid to your music. They're paying the whore, but they're not paying you guys for the music. So let's shout out the fans. Why are your fans so fucking lame? You know what they're doing, and then I'll let you guys talk. But what they're doing is they're downloading your music, they're downloading your videos, they're downloading shit on YouTube, and they're creating the venue in their home so they can sit on their fucking sofas and watching you guys. When I was younger and I played in the 70s and the 80s, and I would say that every guy that came out and every chick that came out, they came out to the venues, because if they did not come out to the venues, on Monday morning, because they're geeks, they get fucking beat up. That's what would happen. That's what would happen. And it's funny, and they're not getting laid because they're not going out. This is the way it was in the 70s and 80s. If you don't go out, you're not getting laid unless you pick up that prostitute. And when you're 25 years old or 30 years old, if you got to pick up a prostitute, that's pretty fucking bad. That's when you look good. You don't look like me now with the fucked up hairdo that you see all the time, right? Right? Yeah, but you know that. So let me talk about your fan. Why the fuck don't your fans support you guys? What the fuck is the matter with these guys? Tell me, one of you at a time start. Who wants to start about this?
Well, let me just jump in here real quick too, and not to interrupt anybody or like that, but I'm in Canada, in Kingston, Ontario, and it's the same up here, and especially with rock. I don't know what the hell it is, but there's a lot of great bands we have out there that I support on Q108 Kingston here, and promoters won't touch them because they're rock. And the sad thing is, these guys will reach out to the U.S. and UK and get more airtime out, in countries like that, and it's sad, and the promoters will not pick them up. So it's tough for them to get into, venues. I mean, I got fortunate to be able to promote 2 bands for a gig, and this was last November. 2 great rock bands, and their music's great. Went there, they had, Q108 presents this and that. 7 people showed up in a bar that fits 200 people. It seems that, the EDM and the newer stuff, the pop stuff's coming up. I mean, all these great rock bands are having a tough time getting promoters. Well, they say, well, you play rock and roll, and we don't want to touch that. And now, it's very frustrating.
Yeah, you know what's really odd about this? And this is maybe because radio has brainwashed these motherfuckers and beat this music into their ears. But if I get a young guy to listen to rock music, if he's not going to succumb to peer pressure, he's going to dig rock music. If we open up their fucking ears with some new music, or ever gotten a fucking radio station, which you are one, Randy, and appreciate you doing this on Q108. If we get this music into people's ears and they hear it, they're going to dig it. It's just that it's not being presented. No one is taking the risk anymore.
Yes, that's true. And like I said, when I've done with MySpace, I've broken it down into 2 categories. I went strictly independent, but I broke it down to a mix side, and then I got a player on the other side, which is strictly rock. And I mean, I give people the options there. So, like you say, it's just I don't know what it is, and it's damn good music too, and it's sad. And since you have a couple bands out there too, send me your music, guys.
Okay, I guess I'm going to piss y'all off.
Okay.
Because straight up, if you want to get your music and your shows and everything out there, you got to advertise your ass off. I don't mean sit behind the computer and act like you're on Facebook or Twitter, and I'm talking about the radio station and the DJs, including myself. You've got to sell your ass to get people to notice what you're doing.
That's
and
right.
the reason that the big times and all that is going and doing so well and all this better music is going is because everybody's advertising it. Now, until we group up and we work together and we advertise each other, I mean, all of us, we've got to help advertise each other. We've got to get the word out there. That's all part of the music revolution going on. We're trying to help all independent, unsigned artists and the radio stations and the promoters, and, it's all one big business. And that's where the problem is. Now, you're talking about, well, the fans are fucking you this way, the fans are doing this way. Well, you know what? Some of us are hard on our fucking luck, and we can't fucking afford everything that you're fucking talking about. And so we try to do what we can for our bands and everything else. And we try to do what we can. Now, there's some out there that's just straight out stealing, and we can't fucking help that. That's been going on for the longest time. They just can't, they try their best that they can. It's got mouths that they got to feed. They got a roof over their head. Fucking politics ain't fucking helping any damn bit. They ain't putting no damn money in our pocket as they raise taxes on every damn thing. I mean, go look at the damn grocery store, for crying out loud. How much is a loaf of bread? And I'm going to bitch about it. Why? Because I fucking scrape pennies to live off of, and I do with music. and I promote. But I don't steal from my artists. I don't steal from my band. They get paid, I get paid. That's how it works.
Okay, Doug, let me ask you this question, and then I'll let someone else talk. But I'm curious. You mentioned one thing. You mentioned the cost of it. Didn't you say that? You said it's expensive. Did you say that?
Yep.
Okay, now let me ask you this. For decades, for a fucking decade, I've heard people say that they can't afford shit because the economy's fucked. I don't see the economy as being as fucked now as it was 10 years ago. And if you can't afford 10 to 15 bucks to go out to a venue, then you're as fucking bad at your day job and as lame as your day job as you are being a socially active person. That's just the way I feel.
What type of job you got there, Dave? Let's talk off of business.
Okay.
What type of job you got there, Dave?
No,
You sure the hell ain't flipping a fucking hamburger, that's for sure. You got a legitimate job and you're doing good. That's why you don't see what's going on.
Okay, but there are enough people out there that have decent jobs that can afford...
Hey, I'll say this, man. Check it out, too. So, the bands, we have to sell tickets a lot of times. The last show that we played, well, not the last show that we played, but one of the last shows we played was for a well-known guitar player who came through Phoenix with his band and toured. And, we had to sell tickets, and they were $25 a pop for tickets, man, for a Monday night show, right?
Right.
So what we did was we discounted our tickets, so we took that in the pocketbook, and we were also giving away T-shirts and stuff with ticket sales. So to help people to be able to afford the tickets and to sweeten the deal. So it's like, we're giving out ticket deals and we're giving out, merchandise of the band for these people so they can afford to come to the show sometimes. You know what I mean?
Exactly. See, that part there, you're doing everything you can, and that is just, I'll agree with you on there. Your fans need to pick it up. I mean, you're doing everything you can for them. They need to fucking show the same pride back. I mean, it works around the circle. I will agree with you.
Okay,
But it's harder than hell to sell a Monday show.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard to sell a Monday show. It doesn't matter who the hell is headlining, but it's also that the metal community around here, at least around here, is very, very tight. And it's all the same people. We all know each other. We all either love or hate each other, whatever it is. But it's all the same people. And those same people are trying to go and support 40, local bands on top of going to see their favorite bands from wherever, that costs a bunch. So when it comes down to it, cost is an issue. But I see people that are poor as shit that will go to a local show and go to all kinds of local shows, and other people that have tons of money that won't go to any local shows, but you'll damn see them showing, oh, I went and saw Ingve, or I went and saw this person, blah, blah, blah. So it's all a matter of what you want to do. And a lot of more people around here will spend money to go hear cover bands, because then they can hear all the music they know they like, instead of opening up their horizons. And they can hear it for $10 or whatever, or $5, wherever the hell they go. And those bands actually make money. And it sucks, because there's so many good bands out here, but I also blame the flooding of the internet of every fucking band there is out there. And you go and click a couple of links, and these bands suck ass, and yeah, you're going to stop clicking links. You're like, no, these fucking local bands suck. And then you miss the good ones,
Yeah.
What's the solution, though? I mean, stop putting videos up on YouTube, stop selling your music to Spotify or, SoundCloud, or what do you want to call it? I mean, would that stop people from downloading the music? I mean, and then, okay, the only alternative I'm going to be able to hear these guys is go see them live. I mean, you have to get your music out there, and I understand that. So, I mean, where do you draw the line?
Each of their albums, I won't let them put up the whole album, and at first they gave me shit about it, but I'm like, why the fuck are you giving it all away for free? And if you're doing it on Reverb Nation, have the get a sample part only, and the you have to buy it to hear the whole song. I try to get them to do this as much as possible, but it's true. If people don't hear you, you're not going to get new fans. So it's a double-edged sword, and it sucks. But you just got to pick a few of the songs, get those out there, but get them to a receptive audience that's not sick of hearing terrible fucking bands going, hey, check out my band. Because you know how many of those I get in my inbox every day? Like, check out my band, they're amazing. I'm like 3 bars in going, fuck, are you serious? Cookie Monster again, get a fucking singer, and then talk.
I got someone else to join, so let me join him in here. So we got John that just joined. He's from a band called My World out of New York. Met him. He's played at several gigs out there. I want to call John in. John, you called in late. You missed a couple topics here. We have Randy here, by the way, who's a station owner. We've got Crystal here, who's a promoter. We have Doug, who's been in radio for a lot more years than even I have, and been more successful at it, so let me admit that. And we got Jeremy, who's from a band called Latency out of Arizona. And I mentioned we have John from a band called My World in New York City. But we're talking about rock music. And Randy was saying how hard rock music is a genre to survive in Canada, and it's easier other places. Now, let me ask John, who's from My World, who's got a rock band, although there's some metal behind it. Did I identify it correctly, John?
Yeah, it's kind of like a little bit of a crossover, you know, kind of like a little mix of like rock, metal, that kind of vibe.
Okay, and now let me ask John here, what do you see the scene like in New York City for your band, My World?
It's really difficult. It's very difficult. I mean, we always have to kind of come up with different ideas on how to basically bring people out to shows. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, you know, most of the New York, you know, social scene, you know, is based on like, dance clubs, so like electronic music, even if that, you know what I mean? It's like, it seems like, you know, more of like the club going people, you know, like college age kids, you know, they rather sit on their asses at home and play video games. You know what I mean? And so it's like, it's always a challenge, you know, I mean, from our perspective, you know, it's like, we're always trying to come up with different, you know, almost like put on events, you know, for our own events, and try to get co-sponsors for events, you know, to make something that, you know, I mean, make something that people are going to want to come and stay at. You know, I mean, it seems like that most people, when they go out to see bands, you know, at most they're going to go to see their friend's band, and as soon as they're done, they split. You know, so it's like, so there's virtually no cross promotion. You know, there's no reason for people to stay there. You know, there's no clubs where people just say, hey, you know what, I'm going to go to this place and see who's playing tonight because I know there's going to be great music. You know, it's probably the same thing that you're dealing with in Canada. That's I don't know.
Let me ask you this: aren't there any venues that you could, like I said, and I'll reflect back again to the 70s and 80s when I played. There were always the venues that you could trust. You could trust with a passion that they had great food, great drinks, drink specials every hour, and a guarantee of kick-ass bands. Aren't there those venues that exist anymore? There was enough confidence that if a fan wants to go out and enjoy one kick-ass night, he's going to have the best time hanging there. In between New York City, we got Jeremy here from Arizona. We've got Randy from Canada, who's well established with knowing a lot of bands. These venues, what, they don't exist anymore? Or what's the scoop with this?
Dave, I'll definitely answer a little bit of that. Theaters, most of the venues don't have food, and if they do, they have like street vendors, usually hot dogs, something kind of sad. And because the market is so full and the venue owners don't do any promotion of their venue rather than just the kids, like they don't listen to anyone, you need to promote your venue. Your venue should be packed with regulars regardless of the day, regardless of whether you have any talent or not. And you need to be a little bit more discerning on the talent that you do book. Book somebody who's actually like good, for crying out loud. Quit having these nights where there's nothing but crickets because you have 5 terrible bands on the bill. For crying out loud, have some fucking respect for your place and put good music on. Get a reputation that way.
It sounds like to me that y'all need to come out to Chicago, Illinois, Northwest Indiana, because we've got some kick-ass venues out here, and they would definitely rock you, and they've got great food, and there's all types. I mean, you can go to one, and it's pop. You can go to another one, and it's metal. You can go to another one, and it's rock. And I will say the Midwest has really picked up.
Doug, you're in Chicago there, and you're seeing a kick-ass scene in Chicago with everything that you brought up. You see potentially a different perspective than some of the guys. We have the guy from Canada. We have a guy here from New York City, including myself. And we've got Crystal and Jeremy from Phoenix. And we're not seeing what you're seeing, which is a very vibrant scene in Chicago with the venues doing quite well. Have you traveled?
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you, Dave.
Go ahead.
I've been out and about to all the different venues. Now during the week, they could be a lot better. I mean, it's very hard during the week. But on the weekends, if it's a Saturday night or a Friday night show, I've seen places just beyond packed and only standing room only. But we have got some awesome promoters out here in the Chicago area. I mean, I'll take my hat off to them. And if you want to know who, just stop by at my Facebook page. I'll be more happy to talk about them. But we've got a good team here in the Midwest. There's a good team, and I hope it spreads across the country because it could really bring a difference to the music scene. It really could.
Oh my God, I hope people in Phoenix are listening because this is what I've been preaching from the moment I walked into this scene. If everybody helps each other, everybody wins. All this backstabbing shit is fucking everybody.
That's how satellite formed. Everybody helped each other. That's how it formed. That's how internet could make it. We could make it. It could make it.
Yeah, but as long as people actually got on board.
There's too many people that want to do, it's just about me. It's just about myself. Well, you know what? You take your just about yourself attitude and go fuck off because people are going to team up and people are going to work together and we will succeed. I came back to radio because I want to see this, and I'm tired of dreaming about it. I'm tired of standing to a side. I'm going to network, and I'm going to bring people together that wants to work together, and let's build it. I want to do it not just in our country. I want to go to Canada. I want to do Australia, the UK, South Africa. I want to bring everybody together. It's all about the world, right? It's not just about our area. It's about everybody. We're one big family.
Every single place that helps each other, their music scene is thriving. And every single place where everybody's worried about themselves and they'll have lead singer disease, they're fucking failing, and they don't get it.
Exactly.
Okay, now
someone I don't know actually said that.
So let me ask this question. Let's talk about the scene in Arizona. And Crystal and Jeremy are from Arizona, and I used to live in Arizona. So let's talk about the Arizona scene. What are the positives and the negatives in Arizona? Do you have you got and creating unity, which Doug was talking about, to create that unity and helping each other? Maybe we have to have a discussion like this, first of all, to pinpoint what's working and what's not working. So what's working and what's not working?
Well, we have those discussions, and some people are actually getting better about it, Like some of the venue owners are finally jumping on board and realizing, I'm not in competition with that venue down the street. And they're finally starting to see that if you just start helping people and doing the right things, better things will come to you. So it's slowly turning around, but it's taking a lot to try and make that happen.
I think one of the biggest positives out here in Phoenix is the amount of local bands and the amount of local talent. The level of local talent out here is unbelievable. Some of the guys are amazing to watch and see what they do on stage. And I mean, there are venues upon venues out here, and a lot of them, the thing about it is the point is like they don't advertise, so you don't even know that they have music half the time.
Well, they don't advertise anything. They don't even advertise their business. They wonder why it's failing. It's like, dude. And I told other venue owners, advertise your freaking venue. Your venue should have people in it regardless of who's playing. Quit advertising just a gig because it's stupid, and make your venue one of those places people want to fucking go.
Well, you also have to think, Dave says this a lot. I mean, the local DJs on the rock stations out here, they don't do a lot of local promotion for the local music
and they
at
can't.
all.
They actually
That's because their hands are tied.
Yeah, they have no other choice. If they do that, then they get fired. They don't have a job anymore.
Yeah. They have to suck corporate ass, or they're
the only one that gets to decide what happens is the bands that pay the program director to be on that station. Period.
Right.
And you have to know the right people, and you have to have the right connections to make that happen. So it doesn't really matter because social radio is going out of style anyway. Going out of style fast.
What?
Yeah,
but the one thing you can do though to change their minds is you tell your people, if you're in a band, you tell your people, call the rock station and tell them you want to hear my band and my song. And I tell you what, if you flood that station enough, they will play it. That's exactly how I got my bands on.
Actually,
that's how it doesn't work that way here because these people just don't stand together like that.
I heard
like these guys will go to the show, but when they say, "Oh my God, Latency's my favorite band," no, they won't, and it pisses me off to no end. And I ask people, why don't you like their page? Why don't you mention who you're going to go see? Tag their page. Show some pride. You actually love these guys. Help them out. But nobody thinks about anybody else but themselves lately. It's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, I would say that every radio station I'm aware of in Phoenix, Philadelphia, and New York City cares about one thing. They're all owned by several conglomerates, Salem Communication, Clear Channel, and they could give a fuck about the local scene. All they care about is making some dollars for themselves, sharing very little of those dollars with the radio personalities. And that's why I said when I first started the program here that the radio personalities are partially to blame for this, whether it's partial or I think it's more than partial. They surrendered themselves to fucking corporate radio for $25,000 to $32,000. You can Google the average salary of a radio personality. It's $28,000 to $32,000. Why would they fucking surrender themselves and their lives and their creative talents for that small amount of money? So it's funny because how many of you guys listen to terrestrial radio, KUPD in Phoenix?
Dave, guys, I'm just going to interject you for a second. Just on this kind of this theme here, David sent me a message earlier, and we're talking about this band that you said I'd had #1 on my charts, and they're called Vinyl Ambush. Now, I carry almost 2,000 bands now on my indie station, between and support. And you'd say, well, why they're #1? But I'll tell you, these guys are made up of 17 to 19-year-olds. And what they've done is they've bombarded me, have their fans with requests. Every day I get, 15 to 20 requests from their fans to play their song. And then, like I said, they promote the hell out of Q1away. But these guys are never, it's got nothing to do with how many tweets they're putting on Twitter, how much they're pushing on YouTube, or how many views YouTube has. But these guys, I think they're doing it right. They come to the radio and say, hey, let's get our fans to play our music. That's just one little thing that I've noticed that about like I said, the 2,000 other bands that I carry, not one other band has done that. Bombard me with, okay, play my music. And, it's got nothing to do with the box and things like that. But these are the kind of bands that catch my attention and say, okay, well, and the music's not that bad. It's not the best music, but they're out there and they're pushing their ass off to get themselves heard.
So now what would happen if a band that is not that bad, and I don't want to, you brought it up, so what would happen if the band is not that bad, plays in a venue in Phoenix, Joe's Grotto, or plays in New York City at whatever the place is, doesn't matter. Suppose they go in there and they're the worst band of the night, and they're pretty good, but they're not as good as the other bands. Don't they kind of drive that place, as I mentioned? The venues have to be promising the best degree of entertainment. They got to have food. They got to have great drinks. They got to have drinks specials every hour. But the quality of their bands is not cutting. It's lacking. That hurts a scene, doesn't it?
That's what I mean. They need to have a little bit more, a little bit more discernment on who the hell they're putting on the stage.
What you might think is best in your opinion might be different to another person's opinion, though.
Yeah, music is very subjective.
If you're looking for the best thing all the time, why don't you give up independent music and take your ass back to Main Street? Independent, that's what we're here to help. And it's not up to you to judge or tell me if that band's good or not. It's up to how many people are going to show up or how many people are going to tune in or who's telling me who wants to. That's for the fans. It's up to the fans, man. And if the fans ain't telling you something, that's telling you you're playing the wrong shit. If you ain't got a band that's supporting you, I'm telling you what, I am very privileged and blessed because the bands that I deal with, some of them are fantastic, some of them could need a little work, but I'm telling you what, they all rock, and I appreciate every one of them, and they're like family to me. If they talk to me in that, they're like family and friends, and I just want to see the best. I don't care if they're the best singer or not. I just want to see the best for them. And they support the hell out of me. And they don't have to do that shit at all. And they support the hell out of me, support the stations I'm with. So, of course, I'm going to jump on there and I'm going to support them right back because they don't have to support me. They don't have to do that at all. But they did, and that shows respect. And that's what this business is missing. It's missing respect. It takes respect all the way around.
I totally agree with him. He's absolutely right. If people had the respect for what these guys do and how much work they put into it, I've heard some promoters out here take 40% of ticket sales. And they're like, and the bands are happy with that. And I'm like, that's bullshit. They put years into perfecting their sound, doing what they do, learning their instruments, thousands and thousands of dollars into their stuff. What did you do? You said, hey, venue, here's a band. Here you go. That's all you fucking get, and you get 40%? Are you fucking kidding me?
Okay, so I'm curious about this. Let me try to compare some of the scenes, if it's possible to even do that. I've talked about on the radio how tough I feel Arizona is from this perspective, and Jeremy and Crystal can talk about this. And then we'll get to the other scenes there because John's on from New York City. and then we got Chicago, we got Doug, and then we got Canada, we got Randy. I'm curious about this. Let me ask this. In Phoenix, it's a metropolitan area of what, like 40 miles, unless you carry Tucson in that, which is 90 miles outside of Phoenix. So I notice when I go to gigs, there's a selection of bands that play out, and I used to know that a longer time ago, I don't know if this is still true, but if a band plays in Joe's Grotto, and I'm not sure if Joe ever did it this way, but then he would put a restriction on you from playing somewhere else for the next 3 weeks because he wants the crowd to come and see you play at his gig rather than 15 miles away at the next gig down the block to split the audience.
It's actually there was a common thing between the two owners. One's an ex-owner now, but they did have an agreement that if a band was playing at either one of their establishments, because they're actually only 2 miles apart, that same band would not play within 1 month, just because it's true, their fans are only going to pick one of those shows, and they're not going to come to the other show. So in order to avoid bankruptcy on either part of those two very close venues,
okay, now
they both required it. It was just one of those peace treaty things to keep people from doing stupid shit.
Okay, now I heard that a lot. Now the other thing I'd like to say about Phoenix is because it's that geographic area of 40 miles, unless you count Tucson in it, which is 90 miles away, where it's important when I go out, I want to see fresh entertainment. I want to see Latency, and I want to see the other bands that have been on my show, but I want to see new faces at that venue. How do you get new faces into Phoenix and afford to have them come here when the nearest places, the nearest big cities are where? LA and Vegas. And so how are you going to draw a fresh entertainment base to bring those fans out that truly would come out and see something new, and then see Latency that they saw maybe 4 months ago do something
I keep
new?
telling everybody this. Everybody needs to advertise, okay? If you're a fan, instead of just going out and seeing the band and being, oh, that was a cool band, put it out there. Put it on Facebook. Get new people to come. You have different friends than they have, and nobody wants to do that. Nobody helps each other around here. That's the big issue, is that people do not want to help each other. Now, I've got bands like Latency that I manage, Camera Goes Democracy, ADD. They help each other. They all help each other. They all help the rest of the scene. They know that whenever they have a show, advertise everyone in that show. Tag every fucking page. You're not only helping them, you're helping yourself. And if people would realize that being selfish means helping others, they would get their heads out of their asses and everyone would do well around here. But instead, they all just worry about themselves. And this is where they fail.
That's got to change. Do you guys do anything in Phoenix to try to change that? I know that there was one venue that I don't even think they exist anymore. They was trying to do this thing called Talk to the Venue, where you guys would come in and talk to that particular venue owner. Is that continued? Does it continue? Is there any hope? What are you guys doing to change this?
I try to do everything I possibly can. I work really close with a lot of venue owners, other promoters. I always pass on, bands to other promoters. I do the best I can to help as many people as I possibly can around here and get them to realize that the more you help each other, the more you're helping yourself. But it's just a slow process, and I've been doing it for, 4 years now?
Yeah. What?
But people are turning around.
Phoenix has 5 million people. What the fuck are they doing? Why aren't they out enjoying what
they're
what are they doing?
Stay cool.
They don't realize how good the local music, the local bands are. You know what I mean? The way I would answer the question that you asked, Dave, what am I doing to try to get fresh people out? I keep playing my guitar. I'm writing new music. The last couple shows we've debuted two brand new songs. You have to keep writing.
Latency always goes early.
Do anything, but
Latency goes early. They support the other bands. They talk to the fans of the other bands while they're there. Hey, we're going to be playing later. Come stay and watch us. I watch them do it. They network. They talk about what they're doing. We're
old school fucking good time party band, man. When we go to a show, we're there to fucking party, man.
And that's why the 50 to 35 people always go to a Latency show. They know exactly what the fuck they're getting. A good time.
Okay, so that's cool. So that's where
they're making me naked by the end of the night. So.
Okay, so let's roll this over to John in New York City, because John has less airtime than all you guys so far. John's in New York City. He's got a kick-ass band called My World. I love these guys. They're really talented. They're diverse. Their music is very diverse as well. Let's talk about New York City. Now, New York, from my perspective, is very different than Phoenix in the fact that you have many large cities close. You've got Philadelphia, where I was born in Philadelphia. I know how close it is to New York City. You've got people, you've got bands that want to tour into New York City regardless of the cost, just to get that on their resume. And I know that's true because, for instance, I forget the names of the bands. The Chimps came to New York City. They're a band from L.A. Sister Lip came to New York City from Phoenix. And I'm sure that they came there not making huge money. But just the fact that, so New York City has those fresh faces all of the time. I've heard the words, it's saturated in New York City. Tell me about New York City from your perspective.
Well, New York City has a lot of music history. You know what I mean? There's a lot of venues, that are still in existence. You get like, the most popular ones. You get like, Irving Plaza, Webster Hall. Unfortunately, CBGB's closed down, but, there's a lot of history. So it's like there's a lot of I guess, that face value of it. But honestly, the reality is that a lot of these clubs, they're having a hard time filling them. For example, we did and I think I forget your names actually. I'm sorry, but someone was talking about how clubs don't promote themselves. It's like they kind of leave it up to the bands to promote everything.
That would be my
Yep, that's you. I'm sorry. But basically, just to kind of give you an example, most of the promoters here, it's like it's virtually pay to play for the most part. You know what I mean? It's like basically they want to, if you're going to get a good night out of Webster Hall or at an Irving Plaza that's not a national act, you have to guarantee X amount of ticket sales. So it's like, for example, it's like if it's like a $20 charge at the door, and you have to, guarantee at least 100 people, that night, that's basically $2,000 out of your pocket. And a lot of bands, what they do is they'll pool their money together and they'll pay for the tickets up front, and then they hope that they sell them. Another way that, for example, Webster Hall, we did something at Webster Hall. We're trying to kind of create some kind of a scene where, we got, we played. We had two other bands that we're friends with play, and we actually got backing from Steve Madden, the fashion designer, and it's like we put on the show, and they basically said, okay, well, you guys are going to have to buy the night it was about $2,500. So in order to play there, we had to buy out the night. So and there was really no promotion on the club's part. It's like they had like maybe a little ad. There was really no social media presence. Steve Madden did put some money behind it, but again, there's only so much they what's really going to do. It's a really rough scene. The problem is that there is no scene. And at this point, everyone's talking about Brooklyn, and I live in Brooklyn, it's more of I think it's more of a front, honestly. I hate to say it. We've had some pretty good people behind us. We've been signed with BMG as our publisher for the past 4 years. And initially we got a budget, to, basically any advance that we got, we decided to put into self-promotion, so we actually hired a radio promoter. And actually we got more traction in the Midwest than anywhere else in the country. More traction there than we did in New York, but the whole thing is when you're trying to book, book out of town, you have to make sure that that it makes it worth it to do it. You know what I mean? And a lot of the thing you were talking about as far as club owners putting, not even club owners, club promoters, they put restrictions on is, the number of performances, so they always ask, they say, okay, well, no other shows for a month. So how are you going to restrict yourself that way? There was a great time where, I would play, we would play pretty much every 2 weeks, and I remember there was I was probably about 18 at the time, 18, 19, and it's like we would play every couple of weeks. And it wasn't so much, the way we built fans was playing in front of packed rooms, so of course we had like 20 or 30 of our friends coming at first. But then they heard us play and they would come around and come to more shows and come to more shows. But, now the scene has changed quite a bit. It's really difficult to build that kind of a scene for a promoter to actually, survive, because now the clubs actually hire, these promoters basically buy nights. That's what's happening here in New York. So basically just like what we did with Webster Hall, that's what the promoters are doing. So, and how they're making money is they're getting guarantees from the bands. They make sure that they get paid first. And whatever's left over, if there's anything left over, that's what the bands make. So it's a rough one. It's hard to say, but it is a rough one. I think like some of the attitudes on the phone here, more so where we've tried to set up situations with other bands that we're friends with and other people, and to try to create something. But it's tough. It is tough here.
Well, two questions for John, and then we're going to roll over to someone else. John, I want to ask you this question. You mentioned number of performances in a particular month. To make money and be, for instance, a lot of bands, I know that they have day gigs. Their music is their nighttime gig or their weekend gig. How can a band expect to or hope to make a music career? That means that's what you guys live on in music, if you're limited to how many times you can play in New York City, unless you have the ability to tour out. So how can you do it? It seems like if you're limited, you can never, ever succeed in music as your full-time gig.
New York has become the land of wedding bands and tribute bands. Tribute, the way a lot of live musicians, make a living, is doing these tribute band things. And and honestly, that's more of an older crowd. It's like, who's going to go see Guns N' Roses tribute band? Probably people in their 40s and 50s. You know what I mean? It's like maybe some straggler slash bands that just started playing guitar when they were 19, that kind of thing, Wedding bands, the same deal. It's like wedding bands are a pretty big thing here. Fortunately, that's really the scene, but as far as playing original music, there's really, I wouldn't be, if I was depending on my original music in a live setting, to make a living, it wouldn't happen. It definitely would not happen. Fortunately, I do a lot of the TV and film stuff, so that's what helps. That's almost like the day gig for me, so it's a rough one.
Do any of you guys see guys in their 20s and 30s coming out in full force to patronize you guys? Because John just mentioned the tribute bands. They get the 40-year-old guys out there, the 50-year-old guys that dig the tribute bands. So, and we talked about radio is kind of being the EDM and dance music for the young people. How do we get the young people to come out and dig rock music again? How do we make that happen?
Got to make little fuckers listen to it first.
Okay, right. And
got to get the government out of it. The government, we can't dance, we can't mosh, we can't do anything, we can't do anything but stand there and go, yay, band. Well, they just destroyed it. They destroyed rock music. I mean, we can't do nothing. We can't express ourselves anymore. Like, I found out, I went and saw a band, and I'm a mosher, man. I'll tell you what. You strap up that fucking guitar and hit those drums, I'm hitting the fucking mosh pit. I'm ready to kick some ass. Let's do this. We're ready to rock, man. And somebody goes, the cop turned around and it's like, no, you ain't going to do that. You're going to jail. And I'm like, you just took my expression of speech out. That's all that is. That's expression of speech. Oh, you're going to hurt somebody.
The lead singer of ADD jumps out in the crowd and beats the crap out of everybody. It's freaking awesome. I kick his ass. I kick his ass at every show I can get to. I'm always up there. Come on, Jack, let's do this shit.
All right, let me talk about that. That was Doug, right? Doug was talking about moshing. Okay, now I've been to venues that have had that. And I've been to one venue where the fucking DJ that was sitting on the side to do entertainment in between the bands playing got his equipment fucking wrecked because it was pushed into and knocked over. I've seen some, to be honest with you, I'm going to be fucking honest. I've seen when people get drunk or they're even drinking to a degree that they're buzzed and there's moshing involved and there's pushing and there's people banging into each other, it gets out of hand pretty quick. Whether you think it's
because they don't respect the pit and understand the rules of the pit. If you want to be in the pit, you go in the pit. If you don't want to be in the pit, you stay out of the pit. And the people in the pit keep the pit to a fucking minimum.
If the club has a halfway decent staff, they can keep that shit wrangled in too, man.
Yep. And get up on the stage with that DJ equipment doing on the floor for. My goodness. Let's go back to the 90s. We'll show you how it was done.
Okay, next time you're in Phoenix, let me know so we can go mosh.
Hell yeah, I'm out for it. Fuck yeah.
I'm gonna smack the twins into you and knock you across the room.
All right, so let me ask you guys this: what if you know when in my day gig, project management gig, I say, what are the action items or takeaways from what we've talked about here? What can you guys individually do to help out? Just mention one thing that you guys can individually do, take it away from this thing we've talked about to help out the scene. What do you give me one thing, each of you guys? Let's start with whoever wants to start first. This is a question I just asked.
I guess I'll start from New York here. Just people work together. You know, musicians work together, bands work together. You know, try to basically, you know, just help build the scene.
Okay,
you
now
know, everyone needs to help build the scene.
Okay, that's something you want to happen, but an action item means you've got to take an action to make it happen. So what does that mean? Does that mean tomorrow you contact 5 or 6 bands and say, hey, I am this band, let me introduce myself to you. Let's try to, I know you guys, I've played with you, I've toured with you, I've seen you guys play. Let's work together. So what can you do as an action to make that happen?
Well, actually, that's what we've done. You know, we basically just started creating our own events. So create your own events and get a whole bunch of people together and make a night that everyone has fun and they want to come back. You know.
Okay, let's move on to someone else. That was John, right?
Yes.
Okay, John. So that's John's going to do that. So how about let's roll out to someone else. What can you personally do? One action item to do since you listen to the show here. Who's next?
Well, I think for out here in Arizona, man, we've got ASU out here. You guys were talking about trying to bring the younger crowd in and showing them that there is a scene out here that you can actually come and see some good rock and roll. You know, first of all, I know that there's got to be some kind of venues or two down in Tempe around the college campus. We could start throwing some shows down there, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I try to throw shows in a lot of places, but the problem is that a lot of places are just idiots, and you can't get a decent night unless they know who you are, so you kind of stick to the venues you're used to. And I can have a hit and miss like you wouldn't believe. As a promoter, I've had shows that were freaking huge that I did absolutely no advertising for. Like, it was a weekday show, and I was like, oh, nobody's going to show anyway. Fuck it. You know, I'm doing it for the out-of-town man. Next thing I know, we're nuts to butts. I've had other ones I've spent hundreds on and all kinds of time and massive social media promotion that had some of the biggest bands around, and it was fucking cricket. So, yeah, around here, you're hit and miss no matter what you get. It doesn't matter what the venue is. I mean, one time I had one of my shows get completely fucked because Garth Brooks was across the street. I'm like, dude, seriously?
All right, so let me ask Jeremy, who was talking about ASU and some of the younger guys. How do you personally try to engage them? What are you going to do tomorrow to engage these younger folks? What are you going to do?
Tomorrow I'll be on a roof all day installing solar.
All right, well, let's not. Let's not. It's funny because
you know, on the weekends, I think that what we could probably do just as a band is get together and just as a band get some friends together and go down to the college part of the town and do like a pub crawl and just talk to people. You know, if people see you, you know, they see a bunch of long-haired, bearded dudes drinking beer. They're like, are you guys in a band? Fucking
we need to go figure out a way to get you guys like on a roof on like Cooperstown or something and just plug in and fucking let's pull you two. Fuck them.
All right, so now, okay.
It's the heartbeat, man.
So let's move off now to who should we talk to next? Who wants to talk next about what they have in mind to do one action item? Who can come
I'll
next?
talk for a while.
Okay.
Well, I'm just going to keep doing what I keep doing. I mean, you know, I hope y'all, you know, I'm going to say a plug here. Catch me out there on Facebook, Doug the Rock Dog Russ, and tag me. You know, the more we get into this network, the more we share and help each other, the more it's going to help out. So everybody, including Randy on the FM station there in Canada. You know, I'm sorry, I'm bad with names, but everybody that we're talking to today, just tag me up. And we'll just continue sharing. And everybody that continues to share, you know, we get more people involved in this. Bring your people into this. I'll bring my people into this. Let's continue sharing. And the more we share, the more you'll get out there, and the more advertising.
Let's bring the 60s back, and let's all just love and not
free love.
Okay, now that was Doug, now that was Doug, and Doug answered to continue what he's already doing. But when you're doing some action items, you got to think of something new to do, because what you've been doing, and you've been doing quite well. What can you offer is something to do new and unique that you haven't done yet? Do you have any idea?
Man, I have not a clue. I'm
Don't
really
pay
going to have to think
$100
about it
to give out
because,
flyers.
yeah, I really would have to think about it.
All right, so I'm going to put here, Doug's going to think about it, and he's going to get back to me and tell me what he's going to do.
I have an idea, Dave. Let's just go get a bunch of flyers, get a whole bunch of sandwiches, take them to homeless people, feed them, and then they'll give out our flyers. There you go. We're solving world hunger, and we're fucking getting flyers out.
All right, so now, Crystal, that was your funny side, but give me the serious thing that you're going to do.
Every band I possibly can.
No, remember I said you got to come up with something new. I already said to Doug he's doing all this stuff already, and he's doing it quite well. You're telling me stuff that you're already doing. Give me something different.
New. But doing something new is not going to help me because I already do all kinds of shit.
All right, fine. I'm going to drive my car out to Michigan City, Indiana. I'm going to park it right there next to the lighthouse there on Lake Michigan. And I'm going to blast every damn artist that I play on my show. And I'm going to blast it really loud. And when everybody comes to me and goes, "Who is that you blasted?" I'm going to say, "Well, you need to tune in because this is Fool's Brew, or this is Praise to the Fallen, or this is Revolution Machine. Hey, check them out. They're local. They're independent. Check these motherfuckers out. They're rocking the speakers right now." Oh, yeah, dude. I'm going to sell the hell out of it.
He's awesome. I like him.
Okay, we're going to do this once a month. I'll pick a certain day, and I'll put out an event invite for this. Crystal can maybe help me with that. If I don't do the technology right, Crystal can help me out. But I'll do it.
I can always help you, Dave.
Okay, so I'm gonna do an event invite and do this every fucking month, and I'm trying to get more and more fresh people in, so we don't have the same people all the time contributing, because we need fresh people to get involved. And I'll try to figure out the technology so we can do this on Facebook Live next time. But if you guys thought this was somewhat useful, let's keep making this happen, okay?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, you guys were cool. Thanks to all you guys for joining. And by the way, I'll put a thing together of everyone to join and all the contact information to hit each of you guys up, okay?
Yay!
Hey, John in New York, what's the name of your band, man?
Sure, it's called My World.
My World. All right, I'll go check you out.
Yeah. Awesome. Looking forward to being in contact with everybody. Awesome. Very cool.
Yeah, and John, that was Jeremy Dasher, and his band is Latency. They're from Phoenix, Arizona, so check them out.
Very cool.
And we got Crystal Nonya, who's from Nonya Entertainment, Nonya Entertainment.
Nonya.
We got Randy from Q108s, so check them out. Q108 is out there. That's Randy. And who else do we have? We got Doug. And Doug, why don't you give people how to connect with you guys? I know how to connect with you, but tell these guys how to connect with you.
All right, it's Doug the Rock Dog Russ. Check me out there on Facebook as Doug the Rock Dog Russ. Check me out. Hey, friend me. I like to talk. I love the bullshit. Dig it.
Cool. You guys were cool too. And by the way, try to help my show out if you can. I now do a video show, so try to shout me out once in a while, because maybe I'm a dick a lot of times. If I'm not a dick, though, I don't get as much attention. So being a total douchebag helps. At least I think so.
Sometimes you got to be controversial, man. That's the only way to get it out there, you know?
Yeah,
sometimes
right.
You just got to do what you got to do.
Yep, that's right. So thanks, guys, for joining the show. And make sure you hit each other up and hit me up, too, okay? And that's it for tonight.
Awesome.
All right, cool, guys. You were
Bye,
blessed.
Dave.
Thanks,
Great,
guys.
everybody. Thank you
care.
very much.
Oh, you guys take care. Good luck to you all.
Thank you. Night, y'all. Thanks, Dave.
All right, thanks, guys. Bye-bye.